Dear Diary, the holiday season always inevitably brings me so much anxiety, although a lot of the pain is self inflicted. I tend to use holidays and birthdays as checkpoints when I look back on everything that has happened, and I have this really bad habit of fixating on all that I have failed to achieve, which makes me feel like I wasted my year. I tend to ruminate on all the ways my life has changed and all the ways it has stayed the same, going back and forth between wishing for things to be different and for time to go slower. Then there's also the slight guilt for not feeling joyful during the holiday season when you're supposed to feel joyful, for wishing that the feelings were something else. So, this video is for anyone who, for whatever reason, struggles during the holiday season. That regardless of what did and did not happen this year, and all that you did and did not feel, your feelings are valid, and tomorrow is a new day to try again. From my heart to your screen, love, joy. So, at the start of the year, I knew that 2024 was going to be a big year. After almost 5 years in corporate New York City, I wanted a change. It was the year that I planned to finally leave corporate America and New York City. Where was I going to go? What was I going to do? I wasn't entirely sure. I just knew that I wanted something different. I wanted a new beginning. So, at the start of the year, I have been posting on YouTube about every week for at least a year, and I only grew to 700 subscribers after staying stagnant for about 6 or 7 months. I had a vague idea for a tech product, and I honestly did not have much going for me except for pretty much a dream. So, if you told the Joy from the beginning of the year that she would actually start growing on YouTube and even get monetized, and that she finally got to interview with YC after previously failing 2 applications, she would be pretty thrilled. But now, that doesn't seem like enough. A part of me feels like I wasted my effort, that it was all for nothing. Nowadays, I find myself thinking that none of this matters until I get to 100K on YouTube and I get funded. But there is a part of me that knows that when and if I do get to that point, the expectations will just continue to grow, where I would want to grow faster and hit even bigger milestones. The problem isn't precisely the number, but it is the growing expectations and the inability to bask in the moment. When you have goals and achieve your goals, the goalposts will inevitably move. This isn't objectively a bad thing, because this is how we grow. But in life, there will always be something you would want or something to worry about. And so much of life is trading one worry for another. When I was 16, I was so worried about getting into a good college. When I got into a good college, I started worrying about getting an internship. And when I got an internship, I told myself all I wanted was a full-time job. But then I got my first full-time job, and then I started worrying about making more money. And now I'm worried about making it on my own. The goalpost just keeps moving further and further. It becomes easy to feel like what you have now and what you worked so hard for feel like nothing, when it was something you once dreamed about. Discontent is to a certain extent the price of ambition, and gratitude doesn't just happen. You ought to cultivate it. Comparison is the enemy of gratitude and is the thief of joy. All is made worse when you compare yourself with others or with the idea of where you should already be at a given point in time. I know I spent a lot of this year wishing things were different, wishing I had some things figured out by now. It was this pressure I was putting on myself, the obsession to have it all figured out before I turned 30, partially driven by the pressure of getting older, but also the illusion that everyone around me has somehow figured it out. I was constantly comparing myself with the idea of what my life was supposed to look like at 27. Except, I realized I wasn't really sad because I didn't have it together, but rather because I couldn't give myself the grace required and struggled to accept the fact that I just did not have all the answers yet. It was the wishing that things were different and the inability to accept things as they are that caused me to suffer. I think one thing I want to do before the end of the year is write a letter to December 2025 Joy and just describe my life as it is in the current moment right now, because I do feel like I have the bad tendency sometimes to just like speed run through life, focus on getting to the next goal, and I'm sure there's something about like this precise moment in time and in my life that I will long for. And I think just writing about like where you are in life right now is a really good way to kind of like ground yourself and to not let yourself constantly be driven by an external metric. When it comes to YouTube, I wish I had more subs, I wish I had more views. It's always easy to wish there's more and more. But last night I spent some time rewatching my old videos from January 2024, which I thought was really good. It wasn't that good. In fact, it made me cringe. I think the fact that I'm cringing at my old videos is a good sign. It means I've gotten better and that I'm growing. The other day, one of my best friends told me, sometimes I wish we could just skip to the good parts of life. I really empathize with that feeling because I've had that feeling before. But what I've come to learn is that there's no such thing as the good part in life, and if anything, life just keeps getting harder and harder. So you can't really count on life becoming good, but you need to get stronger and you need to be better. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't feel all the feelings that you do. Because feeling anxious, not good enough, feeling like a loser, all of those feelings, they are completely human. But I have learned, or I'm trying to learn, that you are not defined by your feelings. That while you can feel the feelings that you do, you shouldn't let it consume you. And just because you feel like a loser doesn't mean that you are one. And how you feel in this precise moment doesn't determine your future, but what you choose to do with that feeling. While the new year is still a few days away, I do want to take the remainder of this year to appreciate all the good that did happen. Because despite me feeling like I wasted 2024, it simply isn't true. I posted 56 videos on YouTube, I packed my life in New York City, I closed a chapter, I said goodbyes to the things that did not align with me. This wasn't easy. I stayed consistent, I didn't give up, I kept going, even though all I wanted to do was give up. I met my new co-founder, I did a lot of hard things. I was there for my friends, I made new adult friends, and I meant every word that I said. Just because the results are not quantifiable or directly evident doesn't mean that it wasn't there. All of that was not for nothing. And while I do feel a great sense of nausea around the new year, I also feel proud of myself this time for trying my best. Some days, trying your best is good enough. Anyways, tomorrow is a blank slate for you to try again. Tomorrow will be better, not because life will get easier, but because you will be better. I will be cheering you on. Happy holidays! Why do you have brown face?
Hi Joy, so Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I just want to say that I know 2024 hasn't been the easiest year for you, and I've seen you struggle through so many different aspects of your life, in friendships, love, work-related, but I'm proud to call you my friend because no matter how hard life has been for you, I know that you never give up. And I know that obsessive personality of yours comes in handy in that. But your drive and perseverance to push through no matter how hard life makes it is something so admirable and a quality that I wish I had myself. I hope 2025 will be a much kinder and easier year for you, and that you can achieve all the goals that you set out for, which I know you will. And if all else fails, I guess you can eat 24 or 36 grapes under the kitchen table in New Year's. So, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays again.